Hey, how's it going, friends? Thank you for tuning in to VR Revelations. It is January 23rd, the year of our Lord 2023. It looks like we have reports coming in here that apparently there are going to be a couple of resignations in Ukraine right now. Now, I've reported previously that there has been a lot of shaky stuff going around or happening around Zelensky and his government. We know that we just saw a personal advisor to Zelensky resign. This man here, Alexei Arestovich. Now, this man claimed that the missile that fell in the Dnipro area on that apartment building where a lot of innocent people unfortunately died was actually shot down by Ukrainian air defense systems. Immediately after that, he resigned after I'm sure he was threatened by other politicians for his honesty. And so he resigned, and now he's been criticizing Zelensky. He actually called him an idiot for, banning Christian Orthodox churches there in Ukraine, and pretty much said that that was a dumb move and that he was going to turn the Christian population against him, which again I would agree with him. And a couple of days after, literally, this man here, Denis Monastersky, died in a freak accident where, as I reported, a helicopter crashed into a kindergarten building, killing him along with, I believe, 16 or 15 other people, including other government officials and some children, unfortunately, that were in that kindergarten building. So you have this guy resign, a close advisor to Zelensky that literally helped Zelensky rise to power. And then he starts criticizing him right away. And then you have this man who, along with like 17 other people, die in a helicopter crash. And now we're getting reports that Zelensky is going to, or rather, a lot of officials are going to resign, right? I'm pretty sure it's Zelensky just firing them. So looks like he's cleaning house, and they're trying to paint this as Zelensky's like crackdown on corruption, which is absolute nonsense. Why would you destabilize the government in the midst of a war against Russia at such a critical point? But you don't have to hear it from me. Luckily for you guys, I actually have Telegram here. I have Zelensky's official Telegram, and we can see a speech he just gave here, as you can see, where he declared pretty much that there is going to be some repositioning or reorganization in the government. Also, he declared martial law. So none of these officials can flee the country anymore. Pretty much anybody that works for government can leave Ukraine. They have to ask Zelensky for permission. So things are getting pretty crazy right now. So it says here, I signed several decrees today, and we'll actually take a look at the video. But let's go ahead and read. This is what Zelensky posted. As you can see here, this is his official Telegram channel. I recommend you guys go download Telegram. You can get a lot of, you can follow a lot of channels that do some pretty good reporting there on the situation in Russia, both from the Ukrainian side and the Russian side. You can see this. He posted this at 2:53 p.m. and this was posted today. So he said, there is a principled NSDC decision on officials traveling abroad. It applies to all officials of the central government and various other levels of local government. It applies to law enforcers, people's deputies, prosecutors, and all those who are supposed to work for the state and in the state. So none of these people can leave the country. If they want to rest now, they will rest outside the civil service. Officials will no longer be able to travel abroad for vacation or for any other non-governmental purpose. Another NSDC decision today concerns our spiritual independence. Sanctions have been imposed against 22 Russian citizens who, under the guise of spirituality, support terror and genocidal policies. So he continues to attack the Russian Orthodox Church and religion there in Ukraine. We have already made personal decisions, some today, some tomorrow. Now, here it is, regarding officials of various levels in ministries and other central government bodies in the regions and in the law enforcement system. Ukraine will not show weakness. The state will not show weakness. I think 2 or 3 videos ago, I covered some reports that they uncovered a network of spies that were apparently helping the Russians to locate all the energy infrastructure that the Russians have been attacking, and they were also revealing the Ukrainian army's locations. So this isn't good. This isn't good for Zelensky. When you're in the middle of a war and you're having people resigning, criticizing you, and then your ministers dying in helicopter crashes, like freak accidents, and then you have all these massive resignations across all government, that all spells, bad signs. Usually you don't see these many resignations in the middle of a war, unless your government is in shambles because you're losing, not only on the battlefield but your mind. So let's go ahead and take a look at the speech he gives here. Again, can somebody tell me why he looks like he's like drunk here? As you'll see his face.
Шановні українці. Коротко.
I know he always has that raspy voice, but he literally, like, I know there people call him like Zelensky or whatever. But I'm starting to believe it. He looks like he's drugged here. Just look at the way he looks at the camera. Anyways, pay attention to the subtitles here. I'm sure he's just gonna recap what we just read here, but I do want you guys to see the video here, so that we get all these news reportings, from actual good sources. So let's take a listen here.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці. Коротко звітую про сьогоднішній день. Перше, військові справи. Сьогодні було кілька докладних розмов з нашими командувачами щодо ситуації на оперативних напрямках. Іноді здається, що дехто в тилових містах повністю забув про війну та почав ігнорувати реальність, користуючись захистом від наших героїв. Не зважати на війну – це така розкіш, яку ніхто собі дозволити не може. Жорстокі бої тривають на основних оперативних напрямках, зокрема на Донбасі. Ворожі обстріли і штурми цілодобово. Але битва за Донбас продовжується, битва за південь продовжується. Ми бачимо, які сили накопичує Росія і знаємо, як відповідати. Буде відповідь ворогу, безумовно, і на чергові терористичні обстріли наших прикордонних територій Сумщини, Харківщини. Україна не проявить слабкості, держава не проявить слабкості. Підписав сьогодні кілька важливих указів. Є принципове рішення РНБО щодо виїзду чиновників за кордон. Це стосується всіх посадових осіб центральної влади, різних інших рівнів місцевої влади. Це стосується правоохоронців, народних обранців, прокурорів та усіх тих, хто має працювати на державу і в державі. Хочуть відпочивати зараз, будуть відпочивати поза межами державної служби. За кордон їздити на відпочинок чи з якоюсь іншою недержавною метою посадовцям більше не вдасться. В 5-денний строк Кабмін має розробити такий порядок перетину кордону посадовими особами, щоб підстави могло бути лише реальне службове відрядження. Інше сьогоднішнє рішення РНБО стосується нашої духовної незалежності, яку ми посилюємо і будемо посилювати. Введені санкції проти 22 осіб, громадян Росії, які, прикриваючись духовністю, підтримують терор та геноцидну політику. Вже є також кадрові.
I gotta say here, guys, they like to paint Russia and Vladimir Putin as like an authoritarian dictator. But as far as I know, there is no martial law in Russia right now. Vladimir Putin isn't preventing his ministers from flying abroad. I don't think he has any fear that people want to leave the country, right? That his officials are gonna flee the war. So who's the authoritarian right now? I mean, Zelensky's literally telling his officials, "You're not running away. Like you're not leaving the country." He's declaring martial law. So that looks pretty authoritarian to me.
Рішень. Частина сьогодні, частина буде завтра. Щодо управлінців різного рівня в міністерствах та інших структурах центральної влади і в регіонах, і в правоохоронній системі. Провів кілька нарад, які стосувались нашої міжнародної активності щодо підсумків Рамштайну і того, що вдалося отримати для України. Друга нарада щодо нового етапу нашого дипломатичного марафону, який був розпочатий після мого візиту у Вашингтон. Переговорів різного рівня з лідерами держав-партнерів. Це ті, про які ми можемо сказати відкрито. У мене було більше 30. Цей марафон дав дуже потрібні нам результати, реальне посилення оборони. Зараз ми працюємо над тим, щоб наповнити лютий ще більш предметними контактами з лідерами. Сьогодні ж звернувся до учасників зимової зустрічі американських бізнес-лідерів, що входять до Національної асоціації торгово-промислових палат штатів. Це понад 100 тисяч підприємців, які забезпечують зайнятість близько половини робочої сили в Америці. Важливо, щоб американці на всіх рівнях знали і відчували, якою важливою та історично необхідною є наша співпраця України і США. І ще одне. Завтра вже рівно 11 місяців повномасштабної війни. Це буде 335-й день. День, який ми пройдемо так само, як і 334. Об'єднавши всі наші сили заради одного, заради перемоги України. Не когось проти когось з-поміж нас самих, а заради всієї України, заради перемоги всієї нашої держави у війні за свободу і незалежність для усіх українців. Це буде. І всі кроки, які для цього необхідні, будуть зроблені. Я дякую усім нашим воїнам на фронті. Окремо сьогодні відзначу наших зенітників повітряних сил. Ви дали нам гарний день, збиті літаки росіян, гвинтокрил, ракети. А також окремо дякую бійцям 35-ї окремої бригади морської піхоти і 79-ї окремої десантно-штурмової бригади за хоробрість і потрібні Україні результати на Донецькому напрямку. Дякую, хлопці. Дякую усім, хто стійко захищає позиції нашої держави. Слава Україні!
And cut. So there you have it from the horse's mouth, guys. Again, he took action against religious institutions and he declared martial law. So you tell me who the dictator is, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at this article here reporting on this. It says dismissals coming in presidential office, government, Timoshenko, Halushenko to be fired, sources say. It says resignations are expected in the presidential office and the government in the near future. These include Deputy Head of the Presidential Administration Kyrilo Timoshenko and Energy Minister Herman Halushenko. Vadim Hudzait, Minister of Youth and Sports of Ukraine, may also be dismissed. Pavlo Ryabikin, Minister of Strategic Industries of Ukraine, may be dismissed and appointed as Ukraine's ambassador to China, several sources in the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine told LB. We should expect resignations of the following: Deputy Head of the OP, Kyrilo Timoshenko, and Minister of Energy, Herman Halushenko. It's probably not right that Kubran, Minister of Infrastructure and Development of Communities and Territories, is in charge of substations when there is a specialized minister We should also expect the resignation of the Deputy Defense Minister for Procurement, the source said. The Deputy Minister of Defense for Procurement is Bogdan Khmelnytsky, who is involved in a scandal over a contract to supply food to the armed forces at allegedly inflated prices. Another LBUA source from the Servant of the People faction added that theoretically the Minister of Youth and Sports of Ukraine, Vadim Hudziat, and the Minister of Strategic Industries of Ukraine, Pavlo Ryabikin, are also candidates for dismissal. What is the motivation of these ministers, and what is the result? Zero, the MP said. Another interlocutor suggested that personal decisions could be more far-reaching because everything is so intense now that, in my opinion, it could end even more massively. The case of Zelensky, Deputy Minister of Community Development, who's involved in the case of a $400,000 bribe, is an illustrative example. He is totally Prime Minister Schmal's man, he said. So yeah, there you have it, guys. I think there are more resignations. Governors of certain areas around Ukraine are also supposed to be resigning. And again, on top of that, we just saw that Zelensky is pretty much declaring martial law so that none of these officials who are resigning can turn on Zelensky and flee the country. So he's pretty much sealing the whole of Ukraine as these rats try to leave the sinking ship. And yeah, none of this spells out anything good right now, guys. Again, if you're in the middle of a war with a major superpower and you're losing on the ground, you're losing territory, right? You're pleading for weapons because you know that you're losing. And then on top of that, you have all these governors, state officials resigning your government. How do you paint that as good news? Which I'm sure a lot of Western sources are going to try and do and possibly not even mention because, again, things are starting to crumble around Zelensky in a rapid speed. But there you have it, guys. The truth is stranger than fiction. Leave me your comments down below, your thoughts and opinions. Again, make sure you give the video a like and make sure you subscribe for future coverage. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day and God bless.